And, I think, Lori, you and I do this, and Vicky does too. We all allocate a budget for ourselves yearly on what we're going to put towards education.
Welcome to Creative Type Podcast. This is episode 10, Things I Wish I Had Known Earlier. I am Lori Rivera.
And I'm Jaime Haney.
And welcome. This is Creative Type Podcast. So,
right,
Jaime.
What have you been up to, Lori?
Well, I was painting this morning.
Okay.
I haven't painted as much this week, but I did get in the studio this morning and painted. And
is that it behind you there?
Yeah.
I thought it was what size is that?
36 by 48.
Wow. It's kind of, it optically looks square. Do you have it on its side?
There. Is that better?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
It's in progress.
Yeah.
So just been working on that and same old
colors.
Old. Thank you. Yeah, they'll change somewhat, I think.
Yeah.
But it's a work in progress. So what about you? What have you been up to?
Well, I had COVID last week.
Yes. Oh.
That sucked. It actually wasn't that bad. But I had a sore throat and more of a head cold. And I started to suspect I had it when I lost my sense of smell and taste. But I lost that for about 4 days, which is 4 days too long. And then it finally came back, and I tested on Tuesday and it was negative. So
thank goodness.
Glad. Yeah, it's not like it was, I don't think, anymore. But now I took my son to the doctor to get some booster shots, meningitis, he'll be 17 this weekend. And the doctor said that it still is killing more people than the flu right now, which is sad. You hate that. Yeah. But I'm feeling great now. I got it from my husband. But he's better too. And it was just kind of like a head cold, thankfully. That was all it was.
Yeah, I don't want that long-term COVID, what I hear people getting. No. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no.
I do not want hopefully that. You avoided that.
Yeah, I was outside gardening and stuff too, so it did.
Yeah, really you've been gardening.
Yeah, it's been that time of year. It's so exciting. Yeah. My back is complaining. I went to the chiropractor this morning. Getting all fixed up. These are old lady problems here.
I think I'm starting to have them too.
You're not too far behind me.
No, okay. I'm not. I'm right behind you.
All right. So what are we talking about today? I think we have a suggestion today, don't we?
Yes. All right, Elizabeth posed the question. She asked us, what is something that you wish you would have been told earlier as an artist, but had to learn the hard way? So Jaime and I thought about this question, and I was thinking, I told Jaime, I was like, I bet we could make a whole podcast out of that question. And she agreed.
Oh, yeah. So here we could talk for hours on this. Yeah.
Yeah. So I jotted down some things that I thought of, and Jaime thought of some too. And so we're going to go over those.
Yep. All right. Why don't you begin?
Okay. Well, I think, the first thing I came up with was I wish someone would have told me in the beginning to paint daily or as often as you can, because, back when I was still working a regular day job and, I would paint a lot just like on the weekends usually, because the only time I could paint was in the evening when my daughter went to bed or on the weekends.
Right.
I wish I would have gone back and I wish I would have just painted like even just an hour every night.
Or even less than that. If you've got 20
even
minutes,
a half an hour, 20 minutes, yeah. A little bit every day instead of cramming it in on the weekends. Because I think, like you mentioned, Jaime, in our last podcast, I believe you mentioned something about muscle memory and getting in the studio often. So I think that's just really important to paint as often as you can.
Right. And it's one of those things that you hear a lot, but you don't really, I guess you don't believe it until you do it yourself and you see what a quick change that you can make, in your own painting on how much further it can come. Because you think about it, if you wait to paint from week to week and a whole week goes by, you've already kind of forgotten what you learned from your last painting session.
Oh, yeah.
So I think to keep that fresh and to keep moving forward. That is excellent advice. Yeah,
Yeah.
paint a lot and paint every day.
And I want to mention this book that I have too. Jamie, I can't remember if you have this book or not. It's called Daily Painting by Carol Marine.
I do have that.
You do have
Yes.
that. Okay. Yes. I thought you did.
Yeah.
That was, oh my gosh, that was like the best book for me. I was painting a little bit larger pieces before I started that book.
Hmm.
And what she focuses on is painting daily and painting small to
Hmm.
improve,
Right.
like just get like a painting a day done. And I did that like in 2020. I really focused on trying to paint a small piece every day. And that,
Oh, I know. Yeah,
that
you were
just
a monster. You were
Oh
like a
man, yeah.
painting machine.
That helped me so much. I just love
Yeah.
that book and I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, that is a good book. I do enjoy that one too.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
what's
So
on yours? What's your first
here, all
one?
right. So you're going kind of one direction. I'm kind of going a different way. So one of the things that I wish that I would have been told early on, or maybe learned a little earlier, because sometimes, advice is free and you don't always take it, right? But people, they can be really great or they can be really mean and jealous. And you have to just let it roll off your back and take what you want out of the advice. You don't have to take all the advice. You don't have to take any of the advice, but just realize that not everybody is going to be a cheerleader for you, and that's okay. And the ones that are, stay close with them because I think you need to have positive input, especially when you're starting out, because
Oh
it's
yeah.
really, you feel so vulnerable when you're first showing your paintings to people. And,
I
there
still do
are, oh, yeah, right. Yeah, right.
somewhat.
You don't really outgrow that, do you? At least I
Yeah.
haven't. We've both been
Yeah.
painting for a long time now, and I still feel vulnerable
Oh
sometimes
yeah.
posting things, especially if it's
Me
not,
too.
if you're painting a lot of stuff, then you're going to paint a lot of bad stuff, and
Oh
not
yeah.
everything's going to be great. So, and even at, a little further along stage, it's the same way. So what you say, if you're not painting bad art, then you're not painting enough? Isn't that what you said last
I
time?
think I
Or we
said,
heard that?
and then you're not trying new things and trying to
Oh yeah,
improve, I
right.
guess, or something like that. Yeah, I think that's what I said. Yeah, because we're destined to fail every once in a while. But if you never fail, it's like, wow, are you really trying to learn new things, you know?
Right, right. And so when you have these positive people around you, they encourage you to keep working at it. And sometimes the negative people are closer to you than anybody else, and they don't even
Yeah.
realize it. Family, husbands, wives,
Yeah.
they say things that hurt your feelings because, we're usually a pretty sensitive bunch, us artists are. And they may say things like, "Oh, what is that?" Or,
Yeah.
just things like, "Well, I don't like that. I don't like those colors," or anything, Uh, and sometimes they kind of give you backhanded compliments. I know that one time my husband, he doesn't really get a lot of the art that I do, but there's one piece I painted, this wooden ghost pirate ship, and he liked it. And just the way that he told me that he liked it fully secured in my mind that he didn't really like anything else that I made up
Oh
until that
no.
point. He goes, "Oh, well, I actually like that one." So
Oh my God.
you just have to let certain things go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
And
totally
just keep
agree with
that in
that.
mind. Yeah, just keep that in mind. You're gonna have good people and bad people, and just keep the good ones around you and let go of the rest. So of course, if the bad one is your husband, you can't really get rid of that one, can you?
Yeah.
But you just have to, like, try to be strong in your mind and say, this is, I'm working towards this, and this is, it's going to take bad paintings in order to get to the good stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yep. All right, what
Uh,
else have you got?
the next one I had, well, not the next one, but I'm jumping ahead here on my list because this one
Okay.
kind of relates to what you just talked about.
Okay. Yeah.
Mine I had down was you must be resilient.
Oh yes.
Because there's lots of rejection, whether you're, rejection from your friends and family, like you were just talking about,
Hmm.
or let's say you're applying to juried shows. Well, a
Oh
lot of people
yes.
get rejected from those shows.
Right.
And, one thing to remember too with those shows is that it's one person judging those injuries. It's not 100 people, it's one person. So
One
everything
person.
hinges on that one person. So you can't take
Yeah.
it too personally.
Right. One person, their tastes, what they like.
Right.
It may be you paint abstracts and they happen to like hyperrealism. Well, you're dead in the water right there. That's
Right.
just the way it is. And you have to really be another thing. Just let that roll off your back. You're going to get rejection.
Yeah. And even rejection from just general people. Like, for example,
Mhm.
social media. You might get some people who don't like your
Oh,
art and they
yeah, I
might
know.
comment on your stuff, and
I
be
know.
like,
What is
what's
it?
this supposed to be? Or, it's like,
What is it about social media that people get behind a keyboard and they think that they can just say things that they would not dare say to your face?
oh, I know.
I mean, it would be just considered downright rude and, they might get punched.
Yeah.
Some of the things they say, I mean, trolls and that's a real thing. And I don't
Yeah.
understand why people think it's okay to act like that online when they wouldn't, hopefully, they wouldn't act like that, in person.
Right. So what's next on your list?
All right. So I have early on, you kind of have to give of yourself. And by that, I mean, get out in the community. Don't just hole up in your little painting space, your little studio or your kitchen or this, corner of your bedroom, wherever it is. Get out, meet other artists and form a community or become part of a community. And I think it's kind of like paying your dues a little bit. Maybe do things, volunteer for stuff, and this helps get the word out that you're an artist. Like I remember, oh, years ago, whenever my class was having a reunion and they wanted to know, they were looking for volunteers. Well, I had this ability to do, this art stuff. So I volunteered for that. Well, then that does nothing but boost you forward because you're opening other people's eyes to what you can do. So I think that of course you don't ever karma is fickle, You don't want to be doing things just so you'll get things in return. You want to do it
Right.
out of the goodness of your heart. But I do think you have to open yourself up for the good things to happen too.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
That's a good
that was
one.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What else have you got there?
This is a big one. The next one I'm going to talk about. Don't compare yourself to others.
Oh,
That is
yes.
so hard to do
It's
or
still
not to
hard.
do.
Yeah,
It
it's still
is.
hard.
It's very hard, but instead look at your current work and compare it to what you did a year ago, 5 years
Right.
ago, 10 years ago, and see how far you've come.
Yeah.
That's the comparison we should be making.
That's
And I
exactly
and I
right.
hear a lot of people say that, and it finally sunk in with me
Mhm.
probably, I don't know, several years ago. And I was like, okay, this is really what I need to be doing. And
Mhm.
I even like I mean, I really do compare my work to my old work. Like I'll take like that pig collage app on my phone.
Yeah.
I actually do this. I'll take like a newer painting or a couple newer paintings and position them next to older paintings and
Mhm.
see if I can see any differences and see any improvement.
Oh, that's really interesting that you do that for yourself. I knew
Mhm.
that I have seen a few of your pic collages, but that's really interesting. I think that's good. And I only just recently started doing this. I was looking through some old pictures on my phone of some paintings because you're always flipping through trying to find what on
Yeah.
earth am I going to post today,
All
And
right.
so I was looking through stuff and I'm like, oh wow, when I painted that, I thought it was pretty good. And now I look at it, I'm like, wow, I think I could make that better now. So
Yeah.
that's really important. And, we're exposed to so much fantastic art that it's just, I mean, what do these people just come out of the womb with a paintbrush? It's
Yeah.
incredible
Oh,
how good some people are.
I know.
And it almost just makes you give up. Have you ever felt that way? You're kind of like,
Oh
oh my
yeah.
God, why even bother? It's been done and it's been done so much tremendously better than what I can do. Then why even bother? But we shouldn't look at it that way. We shouldn't compare our work to their work because they may have been painting for 40 years and you've just
Right.
started, or you've only been painting 10 years, or maybe they have more time to devote to painting than you have, or there's just a whole
Exactly.
slew of reasons. And even if you don't feel your art is as good as someone else, I've said this before, we should not be the judge of our art.
Mhm.
Remember how we've always talked about how we won't like something, but other people just love it.
Oh
So it's
yeah.
hard to judge our own work too, a lot of the times. So I think you just have to try to not compare yourself to others because it doesn't do any good. What is it that saying? It says, comparison is the thief of joy.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard
That is
that?
so true.
Oh, it is. It
It
is because
is,
it can
yeah.
just take the wind out of your sails whenever you, at least it can for me sometimes. I look at something and I think, oh my God, this is what am I even doing?
Yeah.
But, there might be other people looking at my work thinking the same thing. What that haven't gotten as far along as I have yet.
Yeah.
So so I think that yeah, that was a really good one, Lori. Yeah, that is a big one. And it's something we have to deal with all the time still.
Hmm. Yeah. It is. It's hard. It's hard to not compare yourself to other people.
Right.
It's hard.
And
I think that's human nature, don't you think? I think it
yeah,
is.
and I think some people are more competitive than others. I'm not a very
Right.
competitive person myself, but it is kind of like if you're competitive with yourself, you kind of I let myself down sometimes and I'm like, "Oh, I could have done better. I could have worked harder on that. I shouldn't have given up so early on that." And just all the
Hmm.
things you say to yourself that are not helpful.
Right.
All
Yeah, I
right.
know. It's so easy to fall into that trap.
Yes, it is. All right. So I'll go on here. This kind of ties in with the last one. Do the thing even if you don't know what you're doing. From early on, I think that it's kind of that fake it till you make it thing, but just you just have to do it because you're not ever going to get better at doing something until you practice. And what is it
Right.
that 10,000 hours thing? I don't know if I buy into that or not, but
What's that 10,000 hours?
yeah, that you have to have 10,000 hours in on something to master that skill.
Oh,
Have you not ever
yeah.
heard of that?
Yes, I have
Okay.
heard of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that, and just like if say you just started selling your work and you haven't done any art shows or anything and you don't know what you're doing, you just got to jump in and do it because
Right.
I tell my son this all the time. I can talk till I'm blue in the face, but there is no better teacher than life.
Mhm.
Life, just the act of life will teach you so much. And you can take all the advice in the world, but until you actually do it and learn for yourself, you're not gonna learn it really.
Yeah.
You can I think that
Yeah.
that is you just have to do it even though you don't know what you're doing.
Right. You have to start somewhere. And
That's
the
right.
way I look at it is, when you think you're ready to start selling your work, just go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do
Right.
it because, if you keep pushing it back, well, no, I want to wait till I get a little bit better or a little bit better on this, or then you're never going to do it. So you should just go ahead and put your stuff out there.
Right.
And
I agree with that. And there are other schools of thought on that. They think that, oh, you need to make sure, maybe some hardcore people, that you need to mm, paint for yourself for a year or two
mhm,
before you start. I don't agree with that.
I think it's
Why
different for everyone.
I do too. I feel like I should share what I've got. And it might give someone joy to see it.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
plenty of people that aren't artists and that can appreciate even something that we don't think is very good.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Let's see. What else have you got on your list?
Okay. This one here, the one I have next is that I just jotted down that it takes time to find the right pricing for your work. Now, I
Oh,
don't know about you, Jamie, but like I have, like throughout the years, I've lowered my prices, raised them, lowered them, raised them until, I finally got to a point where I was selling a little bit more consistently.
hmm
Then I felt like, okay, I think I'm finally finding the right prices for my work. And I know you and I see things differently with pricing
yeah,
sometimes. We have different opinions.
right.
But I think, just to know that once you start selling your work, you may have to tweak your pricing a little bit.
Yeah. Or you might not, because my
Right.
My opinion is of if I feel that it's worth this, then I'm going to stick to my guns. And I'm a little bit more stubborn when it comes to that than you are, I believe.
Yeah, I
If
think
I
so.
feel, yeah, I feel like it's worth that. And here's the way I look at it. I'm not painting something that somebody could go out to Home Goods, Michael's, Kohl's, whatever, and buy. If they want what I've got to offer, then they're going to pay me for it. That's
Yeah,
the way I look at it. And if they don't want to buy it, then that's fine. I'll find someone else who appreciates the work and wants to pay the artist. That is a real sore spot for me of people not paying the artist living wages. Um, Even
right.
friends that I know of, someone was just telling me, I was talking to them the other day, and they said that they had hired a woman to paint a mural in their daughter's room several years ago, and she had done it for a couple $100, and she had just painted some fairies and things in there. Well, the daughter had grown up considerably, and they wanted to revamp it and get a new mural in there. So he called upon a friend of his who was a professional artist, and he said that the guy just wanted way too much money. And I kind of thought, well, wait a minute here. What do you consider way too much money? Just because you
Right.
got lucky and someone did that for you for a couple $100. People just don't consider what we do and all the thinking and
Mm-hmm.
that goes prior to the actual painting and the prep work and everything. Contemplation is part of the quote in my world. I came from advertising. So we always would work up a quote, and you had to have admin time in there,
Uh-huh.
brainstorming time, and just you had to add all this up. And I think that is a big mistake that a lot of artists make nowadays is they don't consider any of that. They don't consider that, oh, you might have to go and, well, you don't go to the library anymore. You just look online. But if you have to research
Yeah.
what, maybe what a walrus or something looks like, say they
Right.
want, they want a painting of a walrus. I'm just pulling that out of the air. But you have to go and take time and see what they are. You have to find pictures of that you can
Hmm.
use legally. And it's not, you don't just pull this out of the air with nothing. There's drive time, there's the cost of the paint and everything. And
Delivery, if you
yes,
deliver it.
everything, right. And the driving time to mail it and just every little aspect. If you are selling your art and you're running an art business, you have to factor that in or you're going to find yourself underpaid and resentful in no time. So I am more along the fact of I set my prices. Now I did waver at one time. I was feeling the way I look at it is if it doesn't sell within a year or two, it's just because the right person hasn't seen it.
Hmm.
Whereas you kind of have
Right.
a different idea that if it doesn't sell in a year or two, then you start getting worried. But I've got works.
I'm getting
I've,
better at that.
yeah, you are getting better. Yeah,
I've sold several paintings from a few years ago. So,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
they
Oh,
just
so you're
like
learning. Yeah,
like
yeah.
you said, they just didn't find the right person
That's
yet.
right. Yeah. And I sell works that are 4 and 5 and 6 years old. And,
Yeah.
I do not lower the prices of those. As a matter of fact, they inch up to my current pricing. So you have to
Right.
stand firm. You have to believe in what you're charging. And if someone ever asks you how much it costs for a painting, don't answer in a question form. You be, confident. This price, this is, $1,200 or whatever it is that you're going to
Hmm.
charge. And I think you have to stand behind that and not say, oh, well, I could do it for less. Don't be that way. I think that's part of the problem that artists are not well paid, at least in our area, right?
Yeah, in our area, I was gonna say
We
that.
can
Yeah.
speak for our area. And I kind of wish that all of us would just band together and say, okay, we're not going to sell art for $20 anymore. I mean, you and I both know who we're talking about there because it's not helping any of us. What is it they say? A
Right.
rising tide raises all boats. So I think
Yeah,
that,
and then oh, go ahead.
oh, I was just kind of finishing that.
Yeah.
That was it.
Uh, well, when you say $20, I think we're talking about a pretty good
Original
sized
artwork.
painting too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Not like
right.
a little tiny one.
No, it's like a 16 by 20, wasn't
Yeah,
it? The last I saw, I was kind of shocked. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because I think that I don't think most people are bargain shopping for art though. I think people
I don't
buy
think so
art.
either.
They buy art because, it speaks to them and, they have to have that piece for the most
Yeah.
part.
The next one I have is this is a big one too, I think. Don't paint something because you think it's going to sell. Paint it because you love painting that subject.
Oh my God,
And
preaching to the choir. I know. And
yeah,
we talk about this a lot.
we
Yeah, on
do. We do.
almost all our podcasts, I think we say this.
Yeah.
So we're gonna beat it into your head. Do not
Yeah.
paint what you think will sell.
I mean, I think, and I've mentioned this on another podcast before. I think we always do our best work when we're painting what we love to paint.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. And sometimes that doesn't always sell, but you have to hold
Right.
out till you find the person that just lights up when they
Yeah.
see that. Yeah,
And
you
I
just
think
have
you
to
have
be
to,
patient.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to find your niche audience. When you find your niche, that's when your art is going to
Yeah.
start selling, I think.
Yeah, when you
You know,
find your tribe, the
you
people that
have to find your
yeah.
audience.
Yeah, they
You
find your
can't be,
tribe, the people that
mhm,
get you and that want to see you succeed and that are excited to see what you paint next. Yeah, I think that
right.
that is very important and it's not easy.
It's
And you kind of
not.
have to go around kissing a lot of frogs to find that prince and the
Yeah.
prince is the the tribe that digs you.
Right.
And it's hard cuz a lot of people will not understand what you're painting.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I'm sure you get a lot of that with all the abstracts that you do.
Oh yeah,
And
I'm
I
sure.
I
Yeah.
yeah, and I get that with all the kind of weird stuff that I paint that people are like, "Oh," or
Yeah.
scare, they think it looks scary. I'm like, "What do you mean that looks scary?"
To you, it looks beautiful. To
I'm
somebody else,
right.
yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
Right.
everybody's preferences are different. And one
Yes.
more thing, I guess, to tack onto that is you can't be everything to everybody.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right along with you have to find your niche audience.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one, Lauren. That was a good one. All right. Ready for me?
Yeah.
Okay. So one that I had would like to have learned early. I did learn this one pretty early because I took some courses. But multiple income streams is how you make it work as an artist. And you know, it it's hard. It's hard to make a living as an artist, especially if you're just selling original paintings. And I know that we have friends that believe that all they want to do is sell their original work, and that's fine for them. But for me, I want to bring in as much money as I can. This is my business. This is my livelihood. It's how I pay my bills. And I would like to have money coming in at me from all directions, you know,
Right.
because we want to be successful at this, right? I don't want to have to go work at Applebee's or whatever in order to
Yeah.
to make my paintings and sell them. But I think that once you learn what you can do with your artwork and whether that's licensing, making prints, putting those prints on everyday common objects like tote bags and pillows and things like that, you know, because a lot of people will tell you, "Oh, I don't have any wall space left." How many times have you heard that one? I've
Oh
heard that one
yeah.
a lot.
I've heard
Yeah,
it.
I've heard
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, oh, well, but do you have a pillow? Everyone needs
Yeah.
pillows, right? Pillows, rugs, all those things. I am not above putting my art on that. Now, maybe not all my art, but definitely I will design pieces for stuff like that, and I think that that's just nothing but given another way for you to succeed as an artist.
Oh yeah. And things like Etsy can help
Yeah.
you create another revenue stream.
Yeah,
Etsy
Etsy isn't
and
what it used to
it's
be. I
not,
would
well, it's not.
No, I don't think I
No.
would no, but these print on demand places. There's a
Right.
lot more of them around than there used to be, and you can even have stuff if you do art shows, art festivals, you can even have some of your local printers print up stuff for you.
Mhm.
Print up your prints that you can sell at a lower price, package them up nicely, and I sell a lot more prints and note cards and stuff like that than I do of original paintings at this point because not everyone is looking for nice new wall art.
Mhm.
So, but might need to give thank you cards out, or they might want to buy a print to put in the bathroom or the laundry room or whatever. It's more affordable. So I
Right.
think that multiple income streams, once you have that figured out and you set things up early on, then you will be much better off financially.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. We're knocking them down. What else have you got on your list?
Probably, I guess one of the last things I have is to take a class early. If
Mm.
you don't have any formal education in art, I would highly recommend taking a class, whether it's a still life class, a class on color mixing, composition, whatever, anything to help. I just think it helps you get to where you're going faster,
Yeah. So you're
and I
talking about
mean,
the actual physical skills of painting, right?
right,
Okay.
right. Like an in-person class or even an online
Yeah.
class. There are
Right.
some great online classes.
Right. Right.
And I just think that, especially if you didn't go to art school, or even if
Hmm.
you did go to art school, I think there's
Right.
still more to learn.
Oh,
I
of
don't think
course. Yeah.
we never stop learning, do we?
Yeah. No, we
Um,
never. If you
but
do,
I
you stop
think,
learning when you die.
yeah, right, right. And I think, we have a limited amount of time on this earth. Do you want to keep spinning your wheels and
Hmm.
doing things that aren't working? Well, no, of
Right.
course not. Take a
No.
class, learn how to do it a
Yeah.
different way or a faster way or,
Yeah. A better way. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. Or
yeah.
just,
So,
yeah. Why not use someone else's, pay for their knowledge, and
right.
don't just try to get it for free. Pay for their knowledge. That artist
Yeah.
went through years of trying to figure out how to do the thing, and now they're selling that class on how to do the thing. So
Oh,
that's
exactly.
worth paying for. It's definitely worth investing. And I think, Lori, you and I do this, and Vicky does too. We all allocate a budget for ourselves yearly on what we're going to put towards education.
Yeah.
Do you still do
Yeah.
that? Have
Uh-huh.
you spent yours for this year?
No, not
Yeah.
yet.
I try to be in a membership, a paid membership each year. I really get a lot out of that with other artists. I get ideas, but I'm kind of in limbo right now. I'm looking for a new membership to be in, or a course or something. And have you thought about what your education is going to be for this year?
No, I'm not real sure. I haven't thought about it. I'll know
Yeah,
when I see it.
yeah, I know it's
You
kind of the
know?
same for me. All
Yeah.
right.
And I wanted to say too, just, remember, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. If there's somebody out there who knows how to do something, learn from them.
Yes, exactly. Oh, that's so true. Yes, do not. We can't make a better mousetrap, right?
Hmm.
No better mousetrap. So,
Yeah.
yeah, just save yourself grief, and what. There's no harm in paying someone to teach you how to do it the right way,
Right.
or a faster way. Not necessarily right way, but a faster
Yeah.
way, a
Yeah.
more convenient way. Yeah. All right. So, have you got anything else that you wanted? I've got
The
one more. I forgot whose turn it was.
Yeah, the last one I have is I wish I had known earlier that abstracts usually always go through an ugly stage before they're finished.
Wait a minute, that goes for other stuff too, because I have a lot of ugly stages
Yeah.
on my representational work. So
Right,
yeah, I think
right.
that, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. You
and
just got
it
to
goes
work through
back.
those stages. Cause
Yeah,
sorry, I used to I would start an abstract and get frustrated when it got ugly and I would quit. And then I'd get a new canvas out and start that one and quit that one. And then I'd get new. So it was just like a never ending, I
I
never
know.
finished anything
I think I
because
have
they
some of
all,
your old canvas, your old stretcher bars from those you cut
yeah,
up. I bet you.
yeah.
Sorry, you did that. Now you can have those back if you want
No,
them.
I'm not.
I haven't done anything with them yet, but I plan to. But yeah, no, that is true. That is so true that there is always an ugly stage. There's always going to be an ugly stage. And
Yeah.
then you just have to come back to it with fresh eyes, because it might not be as
Hmm.
ugly as you thought it was. And sometimes I like ugly. Some of the
Yeah.
artists that I like, that you guys are like, you like that? I'm like, yeah, I kind of like that. All right. So my last one is, and I think a lot of new artists, not necessarily new, but a lot of artists think that galleries are the end all be all, and they are not. There are so many other ways to make a living as an artist, especially now with the internet. We are in such a fantastic time to be it's such a fantastic time to be an artist, that we do not have to wait for gatekeepers to let us in the door. And that's with galleries. I know you're kind of going the gallery route right now. You're looking into some
Yeah.
galleries, but you're also selling on your site. You have works out in the town, and we're doing this pop-up. We keep mentioning our pop-up. Gosh, it's just 2 weeks from yesterday now.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm so excited, aren't
March
you?
23rd, 5 to
That's
7 at
right.
NOCO Park.
That's right.
So if
Come
you're
see
local,
us.
check us out.
Yeah, come meet us in person. We'd love that. But anyway, just know that galleries are they're just people that run that. And if you are going for galleries, do yourself a favor and make sure that your work fits in with that gallery. I think that'd be the best advice I could give you. That if you're painting, representational pieces and they have all these abstracts, they're probably not going to accept your work. So save yourself some grief, do your homework, but just know that galleries are not the end all and be all. Well, Lori, this has been a really good episode, I think. And we have a shout out to give. We got another review on our podcast, which we're so grateful for. Thank you. And
yes, thank you.
okay, so I'm kind of going out on a limb here because I didn't get an answer yet, but I'm pretty sure I know who this person is. She did not give us any information to share with anyone, and maybe she didn't want any kudos for her review. But judging by her username on Apple Podcasts, I think that it is Jan Ming of Hungry Holler, and she's an Oklahoma artist. She does these fantastic mirror mosaics that are groutless sun catchers. And I don't know if you've seen her work, but they are incredible. They hang outside and they are mirrors and mosaics and they move. They're kind of, I don't know if kinetic is the right word, but the wind catches them and the sun reflects off the mirror mosaics and they make all these fantastic designs, not only that you're looking at, but, into the woods and your house and wherever it reflects to. They are just incredible. She is such a nice person. You can find her on Instagram as Hungry Holler and on Facebook as Hungry Holler Art Refuge, Jan Meng, Meng, and we'll put all the links in the show notes for that. And also, we wanted to thank our listener, Elizabeth, again, for giving us some great ideas. So if you have a good idea that you want to share with us that we can use as an episode, please email us. And again, we'll have the email in the show notes, and as well as where you can find all of our personal artwork and where you can find the website stuff. So I think we can end with that. Did I forget anything, Lori?
I don't think so. I think we're good.
All right. That's great. Well, thanks for listening to the Creative Type
Podcast.
You. And we'll see you next week.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. I think we did a good job.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think we covered everything.
I think we're starting to get like, you know what? I'm not nervous anymore when we get on here. I'm not. Yeah. So that's good.
Yeah. I'm not nervous either. Oh, and I wanted to say something about your hair too. I know exactly what you're talking about because I'm always kind of trying to fluff my hair. I hate it when it's all like, because
it looks like I have no hair.
No, it doesn't. I can see a little bit.
I mean, you can see. Yeah.
I can see. Maybe you could next time wear that a little higher on the top of your head.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Did I tell you I got my hair cut the other day?
No. Did you have a lot cut off?
I got 3 inches cut off.
Wow.
Yeah. That's down to about, I think, there now.
Oh my God. But it was so long before. I know. How long will your hair get? Do you know how long have you ever grown it out?
I don't know. It's been like halfway down my back. As an adult, but I think that's the longest it's ever been as an adult. When I was a kid, I think in 3rd grade, it was down to my butt.
Yeah. Oh, you're one of those that can grow their hair real long. You got nice, thick, luxurious hair.
It's not that thick anymore.
Really? Oh,
it used to be a lot thicker.
Age does that.
But
just wait, it gets worse.
Thinning. It's thinning. Oh my gosh. Don't talk about it.
So every time I pull my headphones off, which I tried to use these other headphones again today, but I pulled 2 hairs out. I'm like, oh my God, I can't afford to lose 2 hairs each time I pull these things off. So earbuds it is. Isn't that funny?
Oh my gosh. That is funny.
All right. Man. Well, I guess we're going to have to We're gonna have to think about our next one.
Yeah.
I guess we'll just pick something off the list unless we get, well, Elizabeth had what, two
She
more?
had some
She
more
had,
good ones. This
yeah,
was
yeah,
probably the longest one that we could have created out of
yeah.
that question. But the other two questions, I mean, we could probably expand on those too.
Yeah.